You don't want to tussle with Lee Russell, cause I have the muscle.
Come on, come on, come on, come on back. Come on, you see my hand? Come on, back, stop! Fucking God. You idiot. That Mongoloid valet scratched my fucking dashboard.
All four of their kids together look like a retarded Hitler youth group.
Oh, fuck.
They're gonna choke on the wrapper.
I don't give a fuck about these ducks.
Welcome back to Celebrity Sunday. I'm your celebrity host, Drayson. And today we will be observing the wonderful home of Walton Goggins, which is presented to us by none other than Architectural Digest. Feels good to be back. But anyway, a little bit about Walton Goggins is he went from basically a relatively small, unknown actor to one of the biggest names in Hollywood today. I mean, he was in Django Unchained, but he wasn't the main character. I mean, once you went from obviously Jamie Foxx to Leonardo DiCaprio and Samuel L. Jackson, everybody else was just pretty much there, and that includes Walton. I didn't even know he was in the movie. That's how forgettable he was. I mean, this is no shot at him, but I mean, his star has risen from The Shield to Vice Principals, which still is my favorite character of his, Lee Russell, because he has the muscle, okay? But he's in Righteous Gemstones, he's in Fallout. I mean, this guy has been nonstop, just having a tear. I mean, he was in Tomb Raider, for crying out loud.
I made a promise.
No.
You're not getting out of here.
I mean, right now, he's so big that he's hosting Saturday Night Live.
Thank you very much. I am so excited to be here.
So yeah, it pretty much gets no bigger than that. Other than having the honor, because you can't get any bigger than this, of being on Celebrity Sunday. You make it to Celebrity Sunday, baby. You've made the big time. Like, you've made it big. You can't be any bigger than what you already are once you're on Celebrity Sunday. So we're going to check out his humble abode of this very well-mannered, articulate type of individual. I'm sure his home is like extremely curated, and it's probably gonna blow us away. So without further ado, let's check out his home.
Hello, AD. What are you doing here? Just kidding. Welcome to our home.
This is loud.
This is the gun room. I should contextualize this experience for you. The house.
Hold your horses. We're gonna go back and hear the gun room. I just wanted to say, from my first impressions of the home, this is a very, very older type of aesthetic, right? This is very common for the 60s, 70s. All of this wood tones, wood paneling, during the house. And throughout, the hardwood floors, they look very natural. Like, they've pretty much been repurposed. Like, it just has that real, essence of yesteryear. This is not your typical modern, but we did see the kitchen. The kitchen was updated to modern taste. So my impression of this home so far is that I love it because it's not just a boring white box. Which still, again, I've said many times, I love boring white boxes. I really do, because they're perfect places you can put your art. Like, there's so many, it's a blank canvas, essentially, okay? It's a blank canvas. But let's hear him talk about the gun room, because I don't see any guns.
This is the gun room. I should contextualize this experience for you. The house was built in 1924. The gentleman who owned it had 3,000 acres around here. We have 125. It was built in the design of a Scottish hunting lodge. I personally have never been to a Scottish hunting lodge, so I'm gonna have to take your word for it. This was the gun room and where they would store all of their guns and go on a hunt. They had a pheasant farm here.
One thing that I do want to point out, because he did say it was built in 1920s, what you won't see are like very high ceilings. So, you know, that's one of the things about having an older house, is that you don't have this grandiose, wow factor when it comes to you stepping in the home and you see like completely open high ceilings. Like, this is not what you get from a home built 1920s, 1950s. I mean, the list goes on. That concept of like high ceilings really didn't come into play until like the 80s.
And a number of other things. So let me show you this right over here so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. There are these little gun butt kind of indentations right here.
Yeah, for rifles.
We put these shelves in on both sides, but the guns were lined up on both sides of this door.
I wouldn't have done anything. I would have encased it in glass and put guns in there.
You know what this is? This is a Prohibition bar. Now, we have the original blueprints of the house, right? So we know that this room was called a linen closet, but it ain't a linen closet. This is where I get to do my thing. This is where they kept all of their liquor for all of their friends that kind of came over. They entertained kind of the likes of Edna St. Vincent Millay, Babe Ruth, Walt Disney, Joan Crawford, even the House of Windsor. What's so special about this and the history of this place is that
it's just crazy how this ice pick is just like so purposely placed for the shot. I just had to point that out. Like, this is so unnatural.
All of the people that drank here actually signed the wall. This is the signatures of some of the people that signed the wall. This is Edna St. Vincent Millay here at the top, and Hal Erskine and a number of other people. Joan Crawford's name was right over there in the corner, but they covered it up with stain when we were redoing this room. Joan, I'm so sorry. In keeping with tradition with what they did in this bar, I have asked a number of my friends to begin signing this wall, because socializing and having friends over and talking is very, very important. I want to
write on that wall.
And my family.
You're on Celebrity Sunday,
Rosebud.
Walton. You got to invite me.
Just kidding. So we are in the Hudson Valley, and
wait, what was his joke right there?
Kidding. Me and my family. Rosebud. Just kidding. So we are in the Hudson Valley, and as you can imagine, it's cold, and it certainly would have been much colder than it was today in the 1920s. So all of the fireplaces in this house are wood burning. The one thing in this room I did want to show you is this. This is a bronze casting of my hand from the Hateful Eight. This Roman artisan made a sculpture out of it and presented it to Quentin at the premiere of the Hateful Eight in Rome. Oh, Architectural Digest, you're still here? Just kidding. Okay, come this way. I want to show you something. This is a gift from Sam Jackson. It's a gun that he gave us on the Hateful Eight. He gave 7 of us the gun. He gave Jennifer Jason Leigh a Prada purse. And she said, you can keep the Prada purse. I want the gun.
Hell yeah.
This is the living room. It literally is my favorite room in the house. We spend a lot of time in this room as a family. There are, 20 windows in this room, and so you can kind of look out and see the seasons as they change. The sun comes up right over there, and we wake up early in the morning and have a cappuccino and sit in here and watch the sun come up. It's very romantic. When we were designing this house, we wanted it to feel like it felt in 1923, like it's a living salon. We contacted a dear friend of ours who became our interior architect, Sean Henderson, who is an unbelievable designer in this home. He just helped us reframe this experience.
Did a really
and
good job.
To think how we could live in it as a family. I like things that are old, that feel lived in and worn, and a lot of the little bitty things that you see on all of these shelves as we walk through the house, or even lamps or even chairs. They're just things that I've just kind of picked up along the way in my travels. And I'm a firm believer in not having to walk more than 3 or 4 feet without having a place to sit, or with a drink and a friend and having a conversation. I think that that's what life is really all about. Can we just look at this fireplace? This is 120
really nice
years
living
old.
space.
I sit here in front of this fire with my wife or with a friend and have a glass of wine, and I just think about all the conversations that were had around this fire over 100 years, and it just fills me with so much joy. It's very important for me to say this. There are a lot of artisans and artists that went into the making of our home in this community that we now call home. And some of those people are James Romanchuk and his son, Dave. Jake Saka, who did all of the plumbing. Again, Sean Henderson, our architectural designer, and Dean Warner, who did the electricity. Chris Gregory, who matched all of the walls around here. And again, I just think it's so important to say that, like making a movie, an actor doesn't make a movie, a director doesn't make a movie. A team of people show up every day and pour their hearts into it. This is a painting by a friend of mine, Danny Fox. And you'll see Danny and Wes Lang in a lot of places. They're my best friends, and I'm very fortunate to have a few of their pieces, and they're bangers, if you know what I mean. Come with me. So then that leads into this hallway. Check this thing out. This is what's so cool about this. This was the main entrance to the house. We decided to close this entrance off to the house and kind of redid all the stone outside so that this is kind of like our personal wing. But this was the main entrance to the house. And it's just one of my favorite rooms in the whole house. It's just a hallway, but what a magnificent hallway it is.
Yeah, very good job of enclosing that and making it look very original.
You'll see a lot of art in this home. That's what I do. That's what I'm passionate about. It's about collecting things and finding things that are meaningful to me. I spend a lot of time in antique shops and flea markets and things of that nature. But I've been collecting art for about 28 years. And I started when, chips from Ballet Park and just a little bitty thing. And now, 28 years later, we've accumulated a lot of art. And having our son exposed to art is one of the most important gifts I think that we've been able to give him. This is my ass, and it's my son's ass, and we are walking in a river up here in the Hudson Valley. He's probably 3 there, so
I'm surprised that this is like
years ago.
not taken
what
down
I
from YouTube.
also really love about this room is the view. We live in the Hudson Valley, so it's constantly filled with deer or wild turkey or black bears or me walking naked, talking to myself, studying lines. You can see all of those things outside this window.
No, thank you, sir. Oh, that cappuccino machine. That
And
looks
now I'm going to take you to
remarkable.
the kitchen. This is where the cooking happens. And guess what? I do none of it. Zero. My wife, she does all of it. She's an incredible cook. I'm very lucky to have a partner who enjoys cooking as much as my wife does. Although I do cook a mean sourdough, and I cook some unbelievable focaccia. Maybe you've heard of it? These are just...
So as far as like the kitchen, one of the things is the open concept was, not a thing, especially like in the 1920s, even 1950s, not a thing. Open concept, not a thing where you have a kitchen and the living space combined together. Typically, you wanted that to be separate. That's how, that's how they liked things back then. Now we want all of that to happen in one space. But I kind of just wanted to point out the obvious. But I love the kitchen. Obviously, the wife, she got all the say in the kitchen, clearly, because it doesn't have the rustic feel at all. It looks like a true, there's some rustic, wood in there that kind of gives it that feel, but it just feels like a really nice, modern, warm type of kitchen with the wood finishes versus a rustic feel.
It's like old place that we kind of found. And this little piece of art right up here was the first piece of art that I bought from a friend of mine. That one and this one almost 28 years ago, but these are just things that we've kind of collected. These are ants. There's some ants right here. Again, they're just fans of my focaccia. This is a table that we had at our house in Los Angeles, and it was too long for here, so we just cut it down. We live in the woods, So it's not like you can kind of run down to the store and get everything that you need. There was a lot of thought and a lot of effort that kind of went into all of this. The other thing that I'm really passionate about is lighting. I just have been collecting light fixtures for a really long time. This is one of them we got from a friend of ours. Not a lot of variety in the lamps that I like. Most of them are brass or copper. The thing that my family can't stand is how low I usually keep the lights. And they're constantly like, you see everything is on a dimmer. See that? Everything's on a dimmer. I'm gonna do an impersonation of my family whenever they walk into a room. And the lights go up. And as soon as they leave, the lights go down. Oh, I'm so sorry, Architectural Digest. I was just having a moment to myself. This is the TV room. Movies are a really big part of mine and my son and my wife's life. So we spend a lot of time in this room watching movies, especially when it gets dark early and there's snow outside.
It's a really nice home. It's really well decorated too.
This is my office, and it's kind of a big, wide open space. This is a desk that I've had for about 10 years. It's just really personal to me with, again, a bunch of things that I've collected over the years. I have stuff
like that
everywhere.
desk a lot.
This is a board where I keep all kind of my inspiration and things that, you know, I've done kind of over the years and things that really matter to me. And a lot of pictures of my son. Hey, that's Tim Oliphant. And that's me. That's Raylan and Boyd right there. Pretty cool. This is my personal space, and this room is, it's me. When we bought the house, this is actually 3 bedrooms and a bathroom up here, and the rooms were really small. And then this was the caretaker's bedroom, but we turned this into a bathroom. You know, the thing about this house, when we bought it, it hadn't been touched in 100 years. Every system in the house was on the precipice of failing. I mean, over the course of that year, we learned so much about this house, the history of this place, but we learned so much about ourselves and what it takes to bring a house back to life. And we're better for it because it's literally the place that we want to be for the rest of our lives. So this is our bedroom. The guy who built the house, this was his bedroom. I mean, the way that he designed this house is extraordinary in the sense that the living room faces south, and so it gets sun all day long, whereas this room in particular faces east. So you wake up in the morning and then you see the sunrise. The first time that we saw it, we didn't expect it, and we woke up with the sun kind of hitting our eyes, and we couldn't believe what we were looking at, that this man had the foresight to position this in such a way with the architects that they used to build it that allowed you to wake up to nature kind of in that way. It blew our minds, but it really opened up our hearts. And I can't believe that we get to live here.
Like,
you've seen my
something
bed,
that's common
but there's
now,
one bed
but
that you haven't seen. We have a black lab. And
1920s?
she's kind of the nucleus, the heart of our family. Well, she
Very
would sleep on our sofas, and they're made out of velvet. And when we moved here to the Hudson Valley, we were taking apart an old couch that we had. And I said, "Oh, don't throw that away. Let's make the dog's bed out of our old sofa, and then maybe she'll have her own velvet bed and she won't sleep on our sofa." But it didn't work. She still sleeps on our sofa.
because it's elevated. It's the reward for going over the elevation point. Like, is the sofa, not necessarily the sofa, the cushion.
AD, thank you so much for letting us share our home with you. We really appreciate you coming out.
We
It's a place that's
appreciate
very
you.
special to us, and we hope you enjoy your time. Be careful driving home.
Congratulations to you, Walton Goggins, on your magnificent run and finally making it to, the show that we call Celebrity Sunday. I'm sure, everything going on moving forward for you will be all downhill. I'm kidding. yeah, I personally, I really love that home. He did choose to move basically in the middle of nowhere, which to me is not a bad thing at all. My personal preference, as far as when it's all said and done, I would like to have a home in the middle of nowhere with 100 acres. I mean, the fact that the guy that built that house had thousands of acres and ended up, you know, just selling parcels to like different people. I mean, to have that many acres, you could basically create your own city. But yeah, that house, again, the work that they put into it, I could tell that, you know, it wasn't, for one, it wasn't cheap, but two, that they're very, very much attached to the home in a way that you can only feel when going through that process of creating something that could be a testament of what you did while you were on this earth. That someone else will pick that house and say, we're also going to write on the wall when everyone, you know, whenever someone comes over to have like a drink, whenever they have like a party, like, because eventually that house will go to someone else. And it's just like a small piece of history when you have something that old. And you don't necessarily get that with, you know, our traditional, you know, contemporaries and the modern, you know, that we like today, which is, you know, pretty much blank canvases that are easily palatable to most people that see them. Now, there are certain architects, you know, and developers that bring something that is just one of a kind, and those particular homes sell a lot faster, no matter the price point. Like Ari, for example. We've looked at a few of his different houses, or, you know, over the time, and he sells them for 70, 80 million a pop. And they don't take a long time to sell because they're truly unique in their design. But anyway, glad to have you, Walton. You know, it was an amazing experience to see your home. And we'd love to have you back sometime in the future. If you want to give us a more detailed, you know, walkthrough of the home, we'll be more than happy to have you back because the home was beautiful. But yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.